Didn't I tell you that this chick was going to be a thorn in Zach and Fatima's side? Let me tell you something. There was going to be no water under the bridge when it came to Belinda. I saw, for someone for over 2 years from a one night stand to still be so angry and bitter, she was going to be a problem. And Zach, I was a little upset with my boy this episode because he didn't play his cards like he should have. Let's get into it. Greetings, this is your sister, Kathy Vet. Welcome back to my channel. Now we are going to take over from where we left last week, where Gretchen, the lady from the SEC, showed Zach a picture of the senator's wife. And at that point, it looked like she had him. Now, Zach told her, I don't know who she is. I basically don't know this woman, and I'm glad he played it the way he played it. Now, for somebody who's supposed to be so much on her investigatory game, as a federal agent, you would think that she knew a little better and had her stuff downtown, a little more down pat. She came off a little corny this episode, and with the things that she played, like just her demeanor, the way she came off, she looked like somebody that just started her job recently. So she's showing her a picture of Zach at the airport. Of course, he's dealt with people at the airport all the time. He handed the lady the bag. The best she could do was say, oh, there was no exchange of money. He's like, so what? Thousands of people come through that airport. How was he supposed to know that's a senator's wife? How was he supposed to know she's dealing with stocks? She should have had more evidence, like, do you have a voice recording of her giving me that stock tip? Do you have any actual words, or just a picture of me interacting with a woman at the airport? It was corny. And this was even more corny when she opened up the door and acted like she had somebody coming to arrest him. Zach looked like he was a little on edge, but come on. And then she got an attitude because she says, nobody talks to me that way. Usually I have everybody sweating and they, shaking in their pants. Girl, no, you wasn't that good. Zach was on his game. He was prepped right. She had no choice but to close the case. He passed with flying colors, but of course, I knew he was a sigh of relief to get her out that door. But that's what happened. Case closed. Gretchen, move on. I'm glad Zach got out of that. Now our girl Fatima is coming from work. She's tired, stressed out from a long day. Of course, she got to deal with this baby mama drama with this DNA test. She sits down. Our man is in a good mood. She's about to find out that the case is closed. In the meantime, he's trying to pamper his baby, massage her feet, trying to get her to unwind from a long day. Now, as they prep, he starts to tell her, the lady from the SEC came, and she's like, what? And he said, yeah, but she couldn't handle me. She thought that she had me, all scared. So nobody ever talked to me like this, and basically filling her in. And he was like, I had her. She's closing the case. It's done. She was so happy to hear about that. Here he want to get a little freaky with the toes. You know how they do. I think they look so good together, all matched up. They sharp. I mean, Zach is definitely looking like new money. So they get ready and the doorbell rings. And of course, old girl is there with the baby. And Fatima has a plan. Zach doesn't know, but Fatima knows. So she comes through the door. Of course, she's happy about, his status, basically how Zach is living. You can tell she's looking for a come up. She works in a strip club. She's trying to find a good thing for her baby. Asked if he want to hold his son. He was like, no, I'm not holding him. Oh, he looks just like you. No, he looks like you. So Fatima said, I want to hold him. So she has no idea what Fatima over there doing. She's playing with the baby while she's talking. So she's like looking around, I see there's a place for sale next door. Why don't we just move in? And he's like, you must have lost your mind. And I would have said the same thing. Girl, first of all, she forged the name on a birth certificate without any paternity being established. And now she just straight up wants to, find a nice place and some child support and nothing has been established as to whether or not Zach is the father. So she doesn't want to do a DNA test. So she really wasted time coming over there. But Fatima already had the plan. So she's going off. Fatima gives the baby back. She wants to get all snippy, like, I'm not having this. Y'all know, he's the father. Unless y'all do X, Y, and Z, running off at the mouth. That's basically it. So Fatima's like basically telling her, you better chill or you going to get some more head bashed into a wall, like, what happened earlier. And Zach like, wait a minute, you did what earlier? You can't go around fighting everybody, you come in contact to. She was like, if I have to, like, duh, yeah. So old girl leaves and she told her, let me swab your mouth, get your DNA. She was like, well, what about the baby? She was like, oh, I got that. And he was like, are you serious? You got it? She was like, yeah. So they smacking like, yeah, that's my baby. That's my girl. So he's like, yeah, excuse me. She's like, yeah, we got this. I'm going to take it to the lab at work. We have a lab that'll get this done in 36 hours. So now we got the SEC hopefully out of the way. Now hopefully we find out that this chick, her baby is not his, and we handle that. And that'll be 2 things down. And the next one is dealing with Karen's situation. And we'll probably see that in SISTAS in a couple weeks. Now, they are, Zach and Bryce are going for a little jog. Fatima got to get ready to go to get her hair done. So in the meantime, Zach like, this is too much. My back hurting. You always running, yada, yada, yada. Now they run into some property and I don't know. This is where I felt a little weird. Put in the comments, how do you feel about Bryce? Now, all out the blue, he like, oh, you interested in this house? Then he like pauses and realizes that he knows the girl Valerie that's the realtor for this house. He'll give her her information and then they move on. I'm like, where did that come from out the blue? But okay, that's that. Now, Fatima's at the salon and old girl Belinda is there, being messy. She's supposed to be getting her hair done, and Belinda's just there gossiping. Angela fills her in. She's like, oh, hey, girl, we cool. She was like, yeah, we good. She here to get her hair done. She was like, okay. And she basically quickly left. Now, that was suspect in and of itself because she flew out of there knowing Fatima's going to be there for a minute getting her hair done. Now, old boy here at the salon is filling Fatima in. They laughing. And Fatima's like, I want to get on the joke. What's up? Well, she's the brunt of the joke. Belinda was there gossiping about how much she wants Zach still. And Angela is basically telling her, stop being messy. They having some words. The other, stylist is doing Fatima's hair was like, that's not right. But Belinda, she does want Zach. And she said, I know that's the past. Fatima's saying, it's done with. We cool. But the thing is, she didn't know that she was talking about them present time. Like she thinks she can still get Zach now. She's still interested in him now. And the thing is, why would you say all this in front of Angela when Angela's supposed to be a friend too? Do you think that you two are so cool that Angela wouldn't say anything to Fatima about what they was talking about? Since evidently Angela was there when she was saying all this mess. So old boy got upset and he wound up leaving, I guess, to go for a little walk. And Fatima now is dealing with this whole incident. And Angela is basically saying that's why she don't like coming to this shop. They so messy. They always gossiping. And the stylist who's doing Fatima's hair is like, well, basically like this could be a situation based on how Belinda was talking. So she's like, girl, she knows knowing me, if anything does pop off, if I wasn't cool with the situation, some heads gonna be rolling basically. So Fatima wasn't comfortable with the situation. Now she's getting a really funny feeling and the stylist is like, okay, whatever. But they know Belinda's trouble. And you gonna have to really think about your friendship with her, but you's about to find out what a friend Belinda really is. Now, in the meantime, Zach and Bryce go over to his job, where Gary works at, and I guess Jake and the rest of the crew, and they there to stop by, and he talks to Bryce about how he wants to get in office. I guess take his real estate to another level, look more professional. And Bryce is telling him, yeah, I can look into some things. And, his realtor friend Val can help him with that too. And he mentioned Fatima, and he was like, how's everything going? He was like, she's cool. And he's like, you sure? He was like, well, what are you, the woman whisperer? Because he said, how some women basically say that they cool, but they not. So Zach like, yeah, so far we all right. He was like, come on, we funking up the office. So he was like, dag, we stink. So he was like, let's go. And they leave. I don't know so much about Bryce, but we'll see in the future if he's a real friend or not. I hope so. But meantime, Fatima is at the salon, and her and Angela are really pondering over the situation with Belinda. And she asks her, where did she go, by the way? She was like, well, she knows better not to cross that line. And she's like, yeah, she should. But Fatima, like your girl Kathy, has that like sixth sense. That woman's intuition. When something is in your gut, doesn't feel right, normally it's not. So now the wheels are turning with Fatima, and with her leaving out like that, I guess she said, nah, I may have to handle this. So now this is the crazy part. Now, Zach, you've been in so much trouble in the past. You have to think a little bit more, because how Fatima is, and you've been in enough problems now to think about certain situations. Here is the realtor checking out the house that Bryce told her. Now, she's coming at night, and he was kind of insulted by her, because she's like, oh, you Zach, I guess a good-looking black man. She didn't think it was him getting this house in, this particular neighborhood, in this market, that it would be a black man. And he's like, yes. And so, she pretty much apologized for, presuming things, and said it's a really nice house. And he was like, yes, it is. I like it. So she said, can I check it out? Now, first of all, it's late at night. Your girl is at the salon. Why you didn't tell this realtor, well, can you come back when my girl is here? Okay, Zach, at another time, not late at night, beautiful, sexy woman you letting in the house to check out your home. And you can tell that, she's attracted to him once she's looking him up and down in the home. But men sometimes are so oblivious to things. But Zach has to get to the point where he has to start being a little bit smarter. So she comes in the house, she's checking everything out, saying it's nice. She can get him a good price, I think like $1.5 million. He was like, really? She was like, yeah. He was like, well, I'm not looking to sell right now. I just moved in, me and my lady. And she's like, oh, so you married? And, he's showing his finger like, no, he not married. She was like, well, lucky lady. And I'm like, okay, here goes the slight flirting, but you need to chill. Little do they know who's upstairs listening to this whole conversation. So we going to see how this play out. Now, that's the first wrong move. Now, she's saying, okay, basically they having their little small talk. He's like, she said, call me when, you get ready to do X, Y, and Z. She gave the card. He's like, oh, this don't say Shady Val. She laughed it off. Now he's escorting her out the door. And who brings their behind in? No ringing the bell, no knocking on the door, nothing. She comes in like she owns the place. Belinda. This trick comes in, looks old girl up and down like, Zach, up to your old tricks again while Fatima's away. The cat will play, huh? So she's like, I know you. So she's looking at his little private parts, checking him up and down, and ready to entice. And he's like, you know what, Belinda, Fatima's not here, so you can wait for her outside. She was like, I know where she at. She getting her hair done. He was like, well, I'm going to call her. She was like, no, she ain't going to hear you. She under the dryer. Zach, this is where you should have picked her behind up or opened the door and tell her it's time for you to go. No, you want to play this little cat and mouse running around the house. She grabs him. Her behind no way, nothing but a $1.05. You could have scooped her up. If you can scoop up Fatima, you can scoop up this little sister. Scoop her up and throw her behind out the door. But no, you want to sit up there like, stop. What's wrong with you? Cut it out. This is the dumb crap. This was what will cause Fatima to walk out, because you didn't handle this the way you should have with this girl. All this running around the apartment, You know, I would have left a message on Fatima's phone, let her know she's here. She don't want to leave. I'm letting you know right now, I'm about to toss her behind out and lift her up and throw her out the door. He's pleading, getting mad, and the most stupid thing out of all of this, instead of escorting her to the door or picking her behind out and throwing her out the door, what does he do? He continues running back and forth, running off out the mouth, when that running off out the mouth is not doing anything. If Fatima was to come through that door, see her with her clothes open, what is she going to think about you? What is she going to think about you, Zach? Now, this is where I really got upset. Zach runs up the stairs knowing she's going to follow him up to the bedrooms instead of throwing her out the door. Why didn't you go to the door? Why are you taking her, leading her up to the bedrooms? This is where I was pissed off with Zach. This is where the dumb crap went in. He's going to come up the stairs, and I hope Fatima addresses this the next episode, because this is where you did something really stupid, Zach. Really stupid. So, of course, as they running up and he's arguing, who's sitting at the end of the bed meeting both of them? Hair still pent up because old girl's sixth sense was working. And the first thing she looking at Zach like, why you running your ass up in our bedroom with this no good trick? Get him, Fatima. Get both of them. We are about to kick off. I'm going to get into episode 4. I hope Fatima puts her foot in both of their behinds, because Zach needs to get checked for the dumb move he made too. And let me tell you something. It's one thing knowing your friends when times are rough. It's another thing knowing your friends when times are not so good. Because let me tell you something. I know from experience, you know, a lot of times when you're going through problems with men, your friends, you going through the same drama, they cool with you because you both suffering, you both not happy. But when things start going good, whether it's in business, whether it's in your love life, and there's a little envy and jealousy going on because their life is a mess, that's when you start to really know, when you tried, who your friends are. I don't care how long you knew them since college. I know people for over 20 years. And when the dynamics of certain things changed in my life, I started to see who really was friends and who's not. And this is a sad thing that Fatima is about to find out from Belinda. So stay tuned. Let's get into next episode 4. Peace.